Hello, I'm Bradley Delamare. I'm the CEO of Tankstream Labs. Tankstream Labs, we are a co-working/incubator for technology startup companies. We help build and grow technology startups. We provide everything from the resources, services, education, and most importantly, provide large office spaces where startups start their journey. And Lawpath were one of them companies many years ago, about 8 or 9 years ago, when they started their journey in Tankstream Labs, and we're a member for I think about 5 or 6 years. And so it's great to be here today, Tom, to talk about Lawpath. We at Tankstream Labs try to work with as many of our companies as possible across all areas of our business, whether it's operations, compliance, legal, accounting, all aspects we try to, and Lawpath is one of those that over the years we've worked with closely. And so, we have used Lawpath over the years for multiple areas of our business when it comes to legal and regulatory and compliance. And also I've had various other business ventures in the past where we have used and continue to use Lawpath for those services. Yeah, I think it's legal is one of those areas. Well, really, professional services is it's all about the people. It's all about the relationships that you build. But I think where Lawpath have been different significantly to previous lawyers that we've used in the past is it's very it's a digital process, and it's very easy in terms of being a user, especially on that Lawpath platform. And so us working in the tech sector, we try to be as efficient as possible, and we try to work with companies who are trying to improve the efficiency regardless of what industry or sector they're in. And so dealing with Lawpath, it was, we wanted to, because it made the whole process a lot more efficient, and it really enabled us to save time in this area, which, let's be honest, when you're running businesses and building businesses, everyone is very time poor, resource poor. So being able to save time in these areas, which also, to be honest, are not the most enjoyable. Well, if you're a lawyer, I'm sure it is enjoyable, but I'm not, so I don't find it that enjoyable. So yeah, I think saving time in those areas really helps. And also, just great, friendly customer service. I'll talk about a particular experience that might help. So, I started a venture which was an education business, and that education business was to provide training and courses to people who were looking at starting a business. And so this education business was predominantly online, and we started it many years ago, pre-COVID, and then over COVID, it was actually quite, I would say, people wanted to use it because everything was online at that point in time. So it really helped us with that particular business. But back in those days when we started it, I think what really helped us with the Lawpath was we needed a whole range of things done at the beginning. So we needed contracts set up for customers. We needed to build the website, so we needed T's and C's all set up on the website. We needed all the privacy data, statements created on the website. Plus, also, there was aspects of the actual, platform itself, where there was a number of legal requirements that we had to follow, and it was a case of. Lawpath does provide off-the-shelf templates where you can take and fill in the data, which was great, and that they gave us the bare bones of some structures. But then being able to utilize a lawyer with a particular skill set, which the Lawpath platform could connect you to, we were able to, for example, be able to connect to a lawyer who actually had education skills and background, so they were able to create these contracts, knowing the full requirements needed for an education provider. And so that process was really quick and really efficient. But that was the power of the platform, being able to connect with a lawyer with that specialist skill set in that particular industry. And that really helped us, because it's quite a niche industry, the education industry, really, when you think about it. And there are particular rules and regulatory requirements needed. And also privacy as well, that has to be, you have to adhere to. And so being able to have a lawyer that fully understood all that and was able to help us compile and complete this contract was really beneficial. I was introduced to the lawyer, very, very easy, straightforward, having a chat with him initially on the platform. And then, when it got a bit more technical, the conversation moved straight away to a call. And then, more of an exploration call in terms of, what it specifically is that we're looking for, and, what are the legal requirements that, we're requiring for the contracts that we were looking at building. So I think that it was very efficient being on the platform to begin with, but as soon as it got a bit complex, it was straight on the calls, and that was a good interjection. And the response and the time, or I'd say the time that the lawyer took to deal with the matter was really quick and efficient. With Tankstream Labs, we're on this huge growth journey. We've come out of COVID and we've grown 5x since then. We've got multiple locations around Sydney, so we'll look to expand that footprint in the Sydney market, and we'll look to go into state as well. We are on this growth journey, looking to continue to work with startup companies, and I think that it's a really exciting time right now, because over the last 2 or 3 years, I would say that the startup world has been quite slow. It's been quite, especially with the cost of living pressures that people have been under. People haven't particularly wanted to start their own businesses or, just take that jump because of the risk involved. But I think now what you're seeing with the, evolution of AI, with the creation of industries, like climate tech, and the growth of sectors such as health, there's definitely a lot of energy back into the startup world. And this new technology in these particular sectors are really driving a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation. So we're really excited for the future. We're really excited to see what comes from it. People, every company you look at these days has got .ai at the end of it. And so, there's this whole revolution right now, and who knows where it's going to go and who knows where it's going to end. But it's exciting. It reminds me of 7-8 years ago in the startup world, when there was a boom in areas, such as like blockchain and, all the cryptos. And even before that, you had, just software as a service. There was a huge, development in that sector. So, it goes through, peaks and troughs. But I think, at the moment, this is a really exciting time, and we're really looking forward to seeing what ideas and what technology and how the technology evolves over the next 2 or 3 years. So I have one piece of advice that I always provide to startups is make sure that you are on top and in front of your legal requirements, because there are so many businesses I have seen over the years whereby they don't really consider legal, they don't really consider regulatory or compliance until something bites them in the ass, really. And then it's panic, right? Where, if you just spend a little bit of money, or you spend a bit of time in advance, just, covering or even, trying to understand, what potentially the risks might be and what can happen, you're in a far better position to then, obviously experience what potentially might happen if something happens, which, let's be honest, can cause a very serious situation for the business. Businesses have been, built in a day. Businesses have been ruined in a day because of, something to do with legal. And when you look at the amount of issues there are at the moment with privacy, data, cyber, all it takes is some kind of incident to happen. And if you haven't got the right contracts, you haven't got the right compliance, T's and C's in place, then, it's really, really serious. And, from a reputational risk, if you're a small business, that you could lose that overnight, then you haven't got a business. So my advice would be, make sure you're on your front foot with your legal. And if you don't even understand what they are, then speak to a lawyer who can effectively help you plan and mitigate the risks.